Hey everybody, I'm immigration lawyer John Robbie. Thanks for joining us again this Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. For half an hour, we talk about U.S. immigration law. Take your questions about stuff I could talk about. I'm not an expert on every area of immigration law, so stuff I know, right? A lot of marriage stuff, some investor stuff, maybe some extraordinary ability, talent kind of stuff. Those are my forte, and citizenship in there too. If you want to download a guide that really gets into a lot of the details of the marriage immigration case or fiance marriage case and learn the basics of it there, you could do so at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. There's a 40 plus page guide. The guide's called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, and that could help you out a lot. But we're coming here live. If you want to schedule a consultation, just go to jqqlaw.com/content or contact, and we'll be able to help you there. I might have to close the window real quick, so I'll take a quick pause. But we'll see what happens. But hey everyone, hey Jen, thanks for joining us. We're gonna take your live questions in a moment. It's a pool time disaster a little bit right now. Just a sec. It is a fun summer day, essentially in Los Angeles, and I am working from my house. So you hear kids in the background, so I'm having fun. So it's a 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's perfect time for kids to be yelling, screaming behind the door. But let's just get back into it and just to talk about what's going on in the U.S. immigration. Take your questions. General education questions only, not intended for individual legal guidance. Saki says, "Hi, sir. My I-130 is approved 1 year ago, and I-45 is still pending. I don't know what to tell you. I have a question. Go ahead and shoot your questions for that kind of case." It could be there's a problem or it could be there's no problem. There's nothing I can do. Really, I got to dig in deep to learn the whole case file so to see your whole application. And once I study that, potentially I find a problem, figure out what the issue is, or it could just be USCIS is slow. They lost it. We could try contacting, nothing happened. So it could be anything or it could be nothing. It really is hard to answer those questions without studying it. And then if I study it, it could still be just random like bad luck that's taking this long. German B says, should I transfer my fiance case to Islamabad or Qatar, which is better? Fiance case, they got to go to whichever country they're from. So they're from Islamabad. They're living in Pakistan, go there. If not, if they're living in Qatar, they got to go there. That's really it's based on where you live. Daniel says, hi, good night. Is security travel with I-75 extension? Is it? I think what you're saying is if you have an I-75 on removal conditions receipt, which gives you an automatic 4-year extension, is that good for travel? You can use that. It's intended to be used by travel, whether it's safe for you, because I don't know your individual background. I can't say that. But generally, people can use the expired green card with the extension notice for travel purposes. But again, each case differs. Osmana says, I'm on a spouse immigration here in the U.S. more than 4 years. Before I do have re-entry permit and stayed outside the USA for more than 1 year, can apply for citizenship. Now, if you had absence of more than 1 year, that resets the clock. So you got to wait until you next after that satisfy it. Schedule consultation with the office because we got to start counting the days and where you've been and explain why you're outside more than a year potentially. There's a lot that goes into it, Osman. So go to jqqlaw.com/contact and we'll reach out to you about a consultation information. Rain, just by the way, if you want to have more chance of your questions being answered, I'd recommend going and watching us on the YouTube channel for JQK Law or U.S. Immigration Talk. And there, I go to those questions first because just the design is much better than these other apps. But take from there. Rain says, hi, I requested to reach dual. I'm not sure what that means. My I-45 interview that was for May 2024. USCIS confirmed it, and I wonder how long it'll take interview. I think you mean you requested rescheduling, and they haven't rescheduled yet. Yeah, these things are up to them. We don't have any control over that. Let me go to Instagram really quick. Instagram, Imitisha says, hi to you as well. Beto says, hello, during the citizenship interview, can the other spouse be in the interview as well? Not unless there's a need for it, unless there's an I-751 application with it, or if there's a translation need or some health need or something like that you satisfy, but not typically. Tamak says, can you marry someone with a record and get status? Depends on what the record is. Suxton says, hi, I'm an international student here and I want to go get a visa. Can you suggest me that? Schedule a consultation, jqqlaw.com/contact. We got to see whether an E2 visa works, an OPT is going to work. If you have STEM OPT, either H1B or O1 may work. We got to go through all of these to see if there's anything that you could apply for. Mr. Clean says, can my friend stay in America after 90 days with visitor visa? If U.S. visitor visas, B2 visas are typically for 180 days. They could give you less, but that's it. So usually, yes. If your friend is part of the visa waiver program, not a visa, but a visa waiver or ESTA, or VWP. They have all these names that's for different, but that gives them up to 90 days to visit, but they can't stay after that or extend it. So it depends on what they actually have, a visa or is a visa waiver. I am Techie says my fiance is a citizen and I'm on H-1B with I-140 approved. What would be my next step to proceed with marriage-based green card? What documents should I have ready as the H-1B? I mean, you essentially have just the basic documents for a marriage case. Download my guide, I am Techie, at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's really all in there. There's a lot of stuff, and watch the videos. And each chapter of the guide, it goes to a YouTube video I did that explains it in longer format too. And I need to update this kind of stuff, but it essentially gets you there. But really, what you just schedule a consultation with the office. We have an intake specialist, or once or twice a week, we'll just take general. If there's like a non-legal kind of stuff, gathers basic information so we can follow up with a more personalized report, non-legal personalized report. We don't really publicize that unless people just research them. We tell them about that. But I'm Techie. Reach out, jqklaw.com, jqklaw.com/contact. Habib said, hi, I-130 approved. Approval notice was sent, but I-485 is still actively reviewed. Hope the case is good. Yeah, you never know with the government what's going to happen. German says, my fiance lives in Afghanistan. There's no embassy, so they just have to go find other embassies. They're called the orphan embassies. They go pretty much anywhere, but probably Pakistan or Tajikistan or something. How long after your biometrics does the USA's issue combo? They're unrelated. Nikki or Cardi? I don't know. The things that are singers. How long after? We already answered that. My K1 visa was sent to the embassy, but still in transit for 15 days. Yeah, unfortunately, they're just annoying like that sometimes. You try contacting them, but who knows what the answer. German says, why I haven't received my embassy invoice, even though embassy pre-approval is complete. I'm not sure what you mean, because there's no, I don't know what pre-approval means. I mean, your documents are qualified. If you are, you should have, the embassy invoice is the first welcome notice you get from the embassy. So I'm not sure how you're asking for the welcome notice if you've already submitted the documents. That means you got a welcome notice with the case number. So the question, I'm not getting it all together. Okay, so Sagi says, sir, my I-130 is approved. We already answered that question a million times. It's different people. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to be mean or sounding or something, but there are different people that ask this question that they have their I-130 approved, but the I-485 is pending, and it's been like 6 months or a year, and still pending. So just as viewers, it's not the biggest audience, probably 100 people total watching this right now. But within 100 people total across the world, immediately on this one random small show that no one watches, no one watches. You guys watch 100 people. That's a lot, actually. So God bless you. Thank you for joining. But we have 3 different people have a situation where adjustment of status is pending, even though the I-130 had been approved. So it shows how inconsistent the system is. And actually, it's not that inconsistent. It's more, because this is just such a small sample size to be able to get 3 different people saying the same thing on different apps. So that just goes to show, like, you never know what's happening. I wouldn't lose sleep over a lot of this stuff. I mean, hopefully I had a good lawyer that was like watching over to make sure there's nothing to worry about. But it does happen where these cases just get stuck. So when people always ask how long is it going to take, and I understand the frustration, like, we never really know how long it's going to take. No one really knows. Even the government, they just, it's a big operation, and these things happen. It happens a lot, and it's getting worse and worse, frankly. So it's very frustrating. Very few parts have gotten better, unfortunately, the immigration system with regard to service and ease of use, but that is what it is. Princess says, my citizen child petitioned for me in 2021. Got my social work permit. I did my interview December 25th. Officer says they'll recommend approval, but nothing. It's another one. Here we go. They had an interview. That's the 4th one in this show. So we were watching Princess B, Habib. We had Saki. There's a 4th person. I'm not sure they're still on. But if you had this question where you had your interview, and we have one for visa processing, they haven't sent them in 15 days. They haven't returned their passport. So the consistency in what we're seeing in all these questions, and actually, since I've been doing this show live since when the pandemic started, 2020, was that when it was happening? So 4 years I've been doing this, and the number one question I get is, how long is this happening? Because something's pending too long. Pakistan is one of the worst, but it gets me frustrated because I say the same thing, but I should take the other stance, and I'm doing it now, is like, that really just goes to show how messed up the system is, where all the questions I get are about people who have delayed cases. So that goes to show it's just a mess. It's a mess. We have a case in Mexico. Just getting an interview is taking like 6 months for like a tourist visa. It takes years, but for like a TN visa or something like that, the timeline is out of control. Only thing you can't do is, call Congress if that's something that's doable, and say, hey, dude, like, fix this up. I don't think anyone cares really. So I care, but anyone has power to fix it. Other than the only thing I could do as an attorney is try to make your case as clean as possible so they don't lose it, and try to keep an eye on it And secondarily, along with that, a lot of my role is kind of a psychologist or a shoulder to cry on, because I just got an email from a client today. There's a case process called F2A marriage and child. So this is when someone has a green card and they want to get a green card for their spouse who's overseas. They already have a green card, but they get married, bring a spouse and a child and stuff. That process went from taking a year and a half to like 4 or 5 years right now. And I have a guy here who's separated from his kid. The kid's growing up without his dad. And like, it's just what's going on, It just to bring my spouse over here is kind of out of control. So it's just very bad. It's just very bad. It's hurting a lot of people. And frankly, on the patriotic side of if you're loving America and stuff, the first interaction foreign people are having with their immigration system, the legal, legit immigration system that everyone's into, the first interaction they have with it is this bureaucracy that hits a wall where they don't care about you. They just don't answer emails. They lose stuff. They make mistakes. They don't like schedule interviews. Your life is stuck in limbo. What's happening is that they're going to schedule an interview or not. Denials for bogus reasons. We got to reopen. So, and then by the time they're done and through it, they're like, oh, so that's the American system. Unfortunately, maybe it's reflective of where we're going as a country and not just the system itself. But there's a better ways to go about all this, I'm sure, with all the technology. But it's just, it requires a lot of will. Sorry, I went on that tangent, but it makes it fun, show a little more fun. So let's see how many more cases we have that are stalled like this. Rafat says, hi, thank you for your time. My joint I-751 was denied. Later, I-751 waiver was also denied. Ooh, that sucks. I'm divorced now. What option I have? Rafat, you have 2 denials. I don't know. You got to give another shot, but you need a lawyer, and that works. It's going to work with you, but who knows what's going to happen there, frankly. I've got 2 waiver denials. Or 2 denials. Ramesh says, I need information about the EB3 unskilled visa. It is not current. When will it be current? No one knows. Jen says, what is the best way to tackle the DS-260? Simple answers, very quick, concise, not to have to say too much. The DS-260 is a form for getting a green card through the embassy. It's primarily just stuff you got to say. It's biographic. What's the date of birth? What's your address history? When you say not, don't say too much. It's too incoherent for me to be able to answer that. It's like too vague. So I don't know what to tell you there. Princess says, I'm here in the USA. It's adjustment of status. I'm sorry to hear that, Princess, that these things are being delayed. But that's the situation that just stalled. Ramesh says, please guide me about it. Ramesh, we don't really do perm kind of cases, EB2 or 3 perm cases. We do national interest waivers. So we're not a resource for EB3 in particular. All right, so let's go to Instagram and get some questions over there. Let's see. Valerio says, can an American citizen who resides overseas apply for green card? Citizenship for parents are also overseas. You can start the process, get near the end of it, but you eventually have to be living in the United States or moving with your parents, come to the United States, because there's a domicile requirement that's part of the affidavit support you need for your parents. So eventually down the line it'll happen. But Valeria, you can schedule, you could like do the I-130 petition, get that out of the way. That's for you to prove to the government that your parents are your parents. That takes at least a year, if not more right now. So get that part out of the way. And then you keep renewing the second phase, which is getting the green card through the embassy until a time where you're comfortable with bringing your family or moving here or something like that. Schedule a consultation with the office, jqqlaw.com/contact. That's the best way to do it. Jay Guy says, I got the email that some kind of action has been taken on my case from USCIS for marriage-based I-130, but I can't see anything on my portal. That's USCIS, so I don't know. Unfortunately, they'll send you something in the mail. Maya says, hello, sir. I received my EAC notice. What do you think when the form I-140 be approved? I have no idea. Maya says, when you get your Social Security and EAC, does it mean your case approved? No, not at all. They're EAC, I'm not sure what you mean by EAC. EAC is just the beginning of the receipt number. EAC, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing a mistake, but those are separate cases. Upon Survival says, how long is it taking for Asylum? We don't do Asylum. I don't take timelines on that. Double Giselle says, how long does it take to get approved for VAWA after IDEA? There's no timeline connections on all that kind of stuff. Adonai says, how long is it taking for Asylum? We'll answer that question over there. Ifran says, greetings. After almost 1,000 days, they responded to me with an intent to deny my I-130 to extend my A2. I'm sorry about that. During that time, they approved me for I-140, I-76, I-131. My lawyer responded to the letter of intent. That's a troublesome scenario because you probably didn't maintain status. And with that denial, they could really get you. You might have to do a lawsuit. This is a very particular scenario of whether when you had your I-539 pending, that's considered status or not for you to file for an I-485 if it's possible. You can sue. It's a long, drawn-out way for circuit court, but schedule a private consultation with an attorney. There's too much going on to guide here. You have a very unique situation in front. You got to schedule a private consultation to go over that at jqqlaw.com/contact. Akash says, hello, hope you're doing good. Thank you. You too. Going back to Instagram, Double Giselle, your answer. Okay, let's go to TikTok now. Do you think EB3 will occur? No idea. How long can I remarry after divorce, USA citizen? How long can I remarry after divorce as a US citizen? Depends on the state that you live in. My EAD expired and we didn't file for renewal in time. Do I still get extension notice from USCIS? Probably. I'm not sure. I've never filed it too late. But if you, I think the rule is you have to file timely file. But I'd have to research the exact language because I haven't had to do that. So off the top of my head, I can't say. USCIS is taking almost 20 months to approve my mom's petition. What do you ask? And you could ask him. I mean, just call him and see what's going on. I don't know. Can someone travel with advanced parole, sir? People can generally travel advanced parole. Whether you can, I don't know. Germany said, I received my case number, but no info. I don't know. That question still doesn't make sense. Can someone travel with advanced parole? You answer that question. Let me skip through a lot of questions and see what's going on. Maya says, thanks for your answer. You're welcome. Karis Ramesh says, AOS is not current. What do you think? When do you think? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say when something's going to be current. Akash says, my spouse filed taxes as single. As tax filer wasn't able to file as married, but filing separate. But filing single impact my F2A visa petition. So technically, you're not supposed to file your taxes single. A lot of people don't know what to do with it, and the accountants have no idea what to do with this, so they do that. Technically, I can't recommend someone do that, and we'd recommend fixing it or mending it. In practice, almost never. The embassy does. If they want to be a jerk about it, they can. But it's usually not a problem. But legally, if I'm a lawyer on a case, I would tell you, no, go ahead and amend it and fix it. And there's ways to fix it. Just annoying extra paperwork and extra money for you to pay. But it is what it is. So the official answer is you got to fix it. In practice, they don't. But you could be the one person that gets hit by it. So as a lawyer, I gotta be exact on kind of what's really going on here. Okay, how long is it taking I-130 married U.S. citizens to get approved in Virginia? It's all different. Let's see. Liz asked that question like 50 times. Then it says, how long usually take for removal of condition for I-130? That question doesn't make sense. I-130 gets approved, you get a green card, and then you do removal of conditions later on. Those take anywhere from 3 months to 4 years. Do you wish the prices were more affordable for getting papers? It costs roughly 10 foot. I do wish it was more affordable, but they just make it harder and harder and like so demanding. Like for me to do a case, it gets super expensive. But yeah, ideally, like if I'm scaling my business. So before, when people would hire me, I had a magical business where people would just hire me and you had your lawyer nonstop whenever you wanted. It was a very good concierge service, but you can't really scale that. And it gets very expensive. So in an effort to try to make it more affordable, people on growing a team and developing that, it requires a lot of work. But if you do it right and the service is good, we can bring it a little cheaper, but it's still going to be expensive. But we'll do our best. My EAD expired and we filed for renewal a week after. I answered that question. AOS based on marriage with U.S. citizen. I got my combo card. I have 5 years out of status. Can I travel? I can't enter individual questions like that. My parents' visa stuck at Abbott processing 4 months. Yeah, it sucks. It could go endlessly unless you can sue them if you want to, if you're in more of a rush. Okay. Ramesh follows up about priority dates. I really can't. I can't predict the crystal balls. There's nothing I can tell you about that, Ramesh. So good luck. Daryl, hello. Good to see you. God bless. Congrats. Conch says thank you as well. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to TikTok where the same question is asked 800 times. Ben Law says, and by same question, I mean the same person asking the same question. So it flushes out the honest person I just asked once. Liliana says, is it possible to look up the status of my process of getting papers, like time frame? Not realistically, no. There might be some halfway options, but no reliable way. Why I received the message from USCIS saying my case is taking longer than expected? Because that's the government and that's how they operate. Ganib says, how long is F2B? Nobody knows. Okay, so we got a lot of timeline questions, but unfortunately nothing happened. Daryl says, thank you and your firm for the good work in my green card approval. God continue to bless you. God bless you too, Daryl. Thank you so much. Very happy to help in that process. For y'all watching, there was a very kind client. I appreciate that. I guess I could say that you identified yourself, but appreciate it. Thank you so much, Daryl. I'm very happy that everything worked out so smoothly. Okay, Ramesh, you're welcome, Ramesh. I wish I had answers for this kind of stuff. Priority date kind of timelines and just timelines in general. No one really knows. So whatever I tell you is going to be wrong probably. So I don't want to just say stuff and just to say it. Are they doing lie detector tests for VAWA now? I haven't heard about that. I don't track VAWA cases that closely, but lie detector tests are nonsense. So I don't think they can legally do that. Mario says, should sworn statements be notarized for marriage-based green cards? We have download the marriage immigration guide. We have a sample of an affidavit where it doesn't need to be notarized according to the Code of Federal Regulations. Now, who knows if the officer would prefer that, but depending on what kind of document you're notarizing, like if it's a letter from your friend who says, I know about the marriage and I like them, they're a good couple, the hassle of having them go and notarize and pay for that is too much. So we have that form, a sample that we have them fill out, or just we get the information, fill out a form from my firm. And then we have them do that. And that the language where it says I'm attesting to blah, blah, blah is there. Downloads, I think it's one of the last pages of the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Go to the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And in the appendix, we have a sample of that there. It's free. Just download it there. Okay, Chopa says, what is the meaning if I did my marriage green card interview 6 weeks, no response? That's like the 8th, 10th person probably or something like that. So if you've been watching from the beginning of the show, the same issue where a person had an interview and months gone by or weeks or months, nothing's happened, is like every 2 minutes someone's posting it. I'm just kind of flipping through them because we just get this. So if you have a case that's stuck, nothing is happening, unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. And so that's that. Now, you might have a unique circumstance. Your case is different. That might not be, I can't tell from the questions on YouTube or something like that. It's hard for me to see the whole case about your life. But unfortunately, that's just the situation right now. Midnight says, hello, how long does it take to bring their over? How long does mother to bring their over 21 years to USA? Midnight, your question is the language is too incoherent for me to understand. Try to rephrase it. Kyle says, how long does it take to get interview after finishing the fingerprint citizenship? There's no correlation between the fingerprints and when you're going to get an interview. Advice about the I-130 interview for my dad. Well, it depends on what issues he has, about entry issues or relationship document issues. Sometimes parent cases just open and shut, but it really depends. I need to research that background, make sure what kind of violations he may or may not have. Ezra says, my sister's asylum case was closed, put to sleep since 2013. Can it be reopened? It depends on what actually happened. I'd put to sleep is not a technical term. If it was administrative closure, prosecutor discretion, or some stuff that you could do, but you don't want to open it unless there's something you could open it to. Queen says, like, we have a case where the case was kind of put in admin closure or whatever at the court. I don't do the court work, that kind of stuff in my office, someone else does, but we're reopening it now because the guy's married to U.S. citizen and he can get a green card based on marriage to U.S. citizen. So we're doing that now. Queen says, what can I do if the embassy is taking too long scheduling me to Dubai? I don't know. Michelle says, advice about the I-130 interview. I already answered that. Mario, I wonder if my fiance can apply for a K-1 visa before his second visit. First visit was 2018. No, you have to have seen each other once in the last 2 years. Angela says, hello, what will happen if under 21 apply green cards separately but not with my parent? You just get your own green card. I'm not sure what the context is. Nadia says, I applied I-130 base. I'm a nurse. Why is I-485 still closed? Yeah, just waiting. I don't know. Timelines are sucks. What happens when USCIS schedules your oath ceremony? They have to wait for them to reschedule it, or you may have issues. You may have like problems. Could be either one. Could be just be they didn't have space or something like that. Or it could be you have problems. Akansha says, my adopted brother's DH-260 is approved, but the DH-260 doesn't get approved. It just gets submitted. But now we realize the birth certificate which we submit is not a true document and doesn't hold any record. Will there be trouble? Yeah, you need to get a lawyer. It's not something. It's going to be a complex situation. You need to get a lawyer that knows adoption as well, or something like that. It's not something we specialize in. So unfortunately, I can help you with that, but you immediately need to deal with that issue. Bobby says, why Abu Dhabi is not doing anything? I don't know. Unfortunately, that's just the standard. Abu Dhabi taking 2 years to give an interview. My mom lives outside the U.S. and just got her green card. How long before she can become a U.S. citizen? She has to live here for at least 5 years. Mangelo says, hello, what will happen if under 21? We already answered that question. How long does the FOIA take? Who knows? It could be a month. It could be years. And they could not send it. Just act like they didn't get it. Or send it within a month and half of it's redacted and you got to appeal it. This is the reality of like what we deal with day to day with the government. Hushy says, I've been married with my wife for 9 months. Can I go ahead and file for my green card because it's my second marriage for a petition? I can't tell you what to do to file for your green card, so I don't know much about you. So schedule a consultation so first we can look into what's going on with your case. How long does the green card take after medical exams? There's no fixed timeline for that. Malin says, answer that question. User 13 says, my case I-618 was transferred June 2023. Is that good? It's not clear. It could mean anything. Is visa screening certificate for nurses for I-45? Do we have to submit initial filing? I don't want to guide us how to submit stuff on that particular case. I got to see what's going on. Richard says, I'll just grant a termination of removal proceedings due to approve I-130. Well, that's great. And hopefully you can file for adjustment of status. How can we check visa number for hardship case? There's no way to really check for visa number where it is and stuff like that. With the DOS, Department of State, for immigrant visas. Can I file for myself through my business? Is registered LLC? It depends on what you're filing for. Christina says, my 10-year green card expires in January. Can I apply for citizenship now? Yeah, you should do it. You should file 180 days before is it 9? No, it's 180 days before it expires or something like that. You have, when could you file it? I think you can file for citizenship whenever you want. So just file it. Yeah. If you satisfy the other requirements. P4 says, what is the age limit for stepson adopted by spouse for marriage? I don't do adoption cases, so I don't want to really get into that. Mino says, is it very important to create a USIS account? Historically, I would say no because it's worthless, but nowadays they're trying to move everything online, so it's better to have access to the account than not to have access to it. Salih says, my I-131 went from 5 months to 1 week to 5 months again and longer than expected. I'm worried. Don't be worried. This is the government. That's the thing. I have this show really to tell people, don't worry about the 99% of the time. Don't worry that's bad, that case happening. 1% of the time is bad. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's you, the 1%. So I can't tell you to be worried or not. But usually it's not you, but it could be you. And that's how I really look into the case. I can't really tell either way. Jay Gotti says, I got an email that some kind of action has been taken in my case from USCIS for marriage-based I-130, but I can't see anything on my portal. Yes, that's USCIS. Is it better to do a K1 or get married first, USC Algeria? So, Tammy, I did a whole video on this. Go check it out on our YouTube page, jqqlaw.com, JQK Law YouTube, where I go into the differences. 9 out of 10 times marriage is better, but you may be 1 out of the 10. Richard Perley says, my I-45 is pending for adjudication. How long does it take to get a decision? It's not clear. Claudia says, ¿Cuándo tiempo justo estás para asilo aprobado después del año en Arizona? I think when time is it for, I guess, how long it takes in Arizona? That's my best I can do in Spanish, but I have no idea. No entiendo and no idea. Sorry, I don't mean, I'm trying to learn Spanish my whole life. It's just, I got to go live in a Spanish-speaking country for me to actually learn it properly. Rada says, USIS transfer my U visa. I don't know about U visas. Can you apply for tourist visa? My author speaker apply, whether approved it or not, it's up to the government. Let's see. I got some work messages. What's going on? Is my team member going to say something? Okay. All right. So can I apply for tourist visa? Kim said, I just submitted my I-130 petition March to Chicago. When this case received, who knows? When you get the receipts, you should get like a week or two after filing. All right, so near the end of the show, I'll take 1 or 2 more questions. We'll call it a day. Let's go to YouTube. What's going on over here? Akash says, would filing K1 really help an F2A pending I-130? My employer wants to nominate me for H-1B. Is it possible pending I-130? K1 is a fiance visa. I'm not sure what's going on. And then you're talking about F2A pending I-130. So that means who has a green card. With the green card, you can't get a fiance visa. And you throw an H-1B in there. And then I'm not sure what's going on. So schedule private consultations, way to go. And says, my husband didn't meet the poverty guideline last 2020 tax return. Is there a way we can file aside from joint sponsor if you have a lot of money, assets potentially, but it's up to them whether they'll accept it. Jose says, hello, John. My sister naturalized to us as a child, was legally adopted by my grandparents. Hello, John. My sister naturalized as a child, was legally adopted by my grandparents. She wants a petition for my mother. I don't know. I don't do adoption case so often, so I say talk to a lawyer that does, but that's not, we got to see documents and paperwork and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of adoptions that don't happen properly, a lot. So that always becomes a problem. But we don't focus on that. So I would say find other accounts that knows it better. Assad says, hi, sir. I see you too. Jason, my fiance was refused on a K1 at the interview due to our engagement rings, and the counselor felt we were married already. What is the chance of the case being reopened? Not much, frankly, for K1 to be reopened. You probably need to get married and do it again. So I normally do. I can't say to do that yet until I know your case, Jason. Sorry to hear that, but in these cases, we've seen most of the time people just get remarried and do it. They get another officer and they just get it. But you just buy yourself a bunch of years of wait, unfortunately. Saad, how are you doing? You're doing good. Thomas says, what is the current average time to get a response after replying to Noi? There's no average response at all. John says, my friend got his N400 approved after he traveled to his home country after his old asylum case was denied. I don't know what the question is there, but hope your friend's doing okay. Chris says, can I send you info about visa ban prior to have a consultation with you? I mean, no, I get a million emails. I can't just read all the emails and research that's coming that way. Schedule a time and we'll get into it. Okay, I guess that's it. Let's go answer one more question on TikTok. Denzel says, hi, attorney. Is RFE for medical I-693 a sign of a waived interview? Usually it is, but like I've been seeing all show, 1 out of 10 times is not. So can you upload joint tax I-485 as well? If they have an RFE specific for that, that's online, yes. But if not, no. Having said all that, thank you. Best way to get real good answers is for your case and it's private is to schedule a consultation. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Fill that box out over there so we know where you come from, all the basic info. jqqlaw.com/contact. Get in our system so you're part of the community and hopefully you send information or whatever. Just contact us. Best way to do it. God bless. Be safe. And we'll see you all next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific for our half an hour show. Bye. God bless. Bye. Lots of bye-byes. Bye.